Right, so decided to do a race in the Copa Classics here, and yeah, at Cordoba, track number 2 layout. So this is the short little technical version of Cordoba, great for testing setups and stuff, by the way. But yeah, so I decided to come and do the Copa Classics and
green.
turn on the taps basically. Make sure my light's on, yeah. So yeah, let's see how this plays out. AI in the wet. The AI is on 100 in this race. So yeah, no idea what to expect. There's like a 20 car grid or something like that. So immediately with the water, like there's a lot less force feedback through the wheel, which you'd expect, obviously. And I'm just trying to gently coax the car around the corners. Can't really push in this weather, but again, the reason I've done this this type of weather is basically to showcase the graphical ability, I suppose, of Automobilista 2 as well. Really have to be patient with these things at the best of times. There's no grip there, but in the wet it's even worse. Just wait for it to feed in. They're not pushing this, it's just feel the thing pushing out, washing out as well. If you touch that curb, it just gets worse. Don't really do a lot of wet weather racing, and well, tell a lie, in ACC I do, because the league that I'm in, basically it prides itself on running mixed conditions, you know, whether it's nighttime, morning, wet weather, changing weather, basically a mix of everything. But on other sims, I tend not to, you know, go for wet weather. And honestly, the reason being is because, you know, it's more difficult, you go slower, you know, usually the exact opposite of the type of driving that we want to do as racers. You know, we want it to be as quick as possible and often as easy as possible as well. So yeah, decided to turn that on its head. A lot of it's just,
be careful.
A lot of it's just being put, oh shit.
You're outside track limits there.
Just as I said, it was about being patient, and then I go and do that. And the understeer on throttle. Crap. It's getting a bit sloppy now. Just getting a tiny bit sloppy on some of these corners, and I'm
they're pretty cold.
On the wrong line here entirely. Fiat power.
V2, push, we can win this.
Just need to be patient and not run wide like the last lap. Okay. I feel like in every braking area that I'm having to saw on the steering wheel back and forward just to keep the balance in these slippy conditions, which on the one hand is frustrating, of course. Back to what I said earlier about us sim racers wanting everything fast and easy, but I have to say I do appreciate it that it gives a challenge even in these slow cars. I mean, this thing I think is 120 horsepower, something like really, you know, slow by standards of other cars I could pick. But here I am, a slow car, being very much challenged from a driving perspective. I think in future races I'll probably just up the AI a little bit, because there seems to be a bit of a gap between P2 and everyone else. So I think, but then again, I mean, this sort of stuff online, where,
okay, Gary, don't let this guy distract you.
You know, we've got humans challenging other humans, so that would no doubt add to the competitive element even in the rain. Then again, the other side of it is if you have like a wet lobby, you're much less likely to get joiners, which is an unfortunate truth, but you know. Yeah, wet driving in AMS2 though is actually quite good. It's feels more dynamic, like it doesn't feel canned, and you know, I think some of that might be down to the railroad type tech that they have in this Madness engine. So yeah, maybe as wet weather racing is concerned, like this is probably creme de la creme, isn't it? I think R Factor have something similar going on as well. ACC doesn't, but again, you know, not a major thing in the grand scheme of things. But if we're, you know, looking to simulate real life racing,
come on, Gary,
which we are,
stay focused.
then,
we can win this. That
yeah,
lap was
AMS2 and R Factor,
9-0.
you know, with the real road transitions and stuff like that, obviously
this lap for Madeira,
have an advantage on that.
17.18.
And I have to say the wet weather in this is a bit more, you know, I mean, I'm just comparing to ACC here, right, because that's the only other sim really that I do wet weather racing in. But I do have to admit that I much prefer this. Now I know I'm comparing a GT3 car to a Copa Classic, right, so it's not exactly one-to-one, but what I'm trying to point out is the actual dynamicness of the wet weather track. I can take different lines a little bit, I feel, and I can still bite the car a little bit, where if I do the same thing in ACC, you know, with the TC and the ABS on those GT3 cars, it becomes very much a bit of a snooze fest in some respects. You know, like you have to be super clean, try and stay out of the traction control, and
keep it together. We'll win this.
All of that stuff, and it's just
0.7. The lap time was at 1:19.06.
Best way to describe it, right? It becomes an exercise in precision and less about an exercise in racing. Where with this, I don't have to be as precise. Like, there's a number of different lines I can take, I feel. Look at the puddle even starting to form on the inside there, so that's quite cool. But yeah, I feel I could take a number of different lines, and I feel like I'm actually racing the car behind in a constantly changing track. Oh, and I've gone in deep. Bad for me, but good for the guy. I mean, it just shows, doesn't it, that the stormy condition, like there's obviously more surface water starting to form in certain areas, like, and I can see it as well lap after lap. That evolution of the track surface is quite good, you know, and it picks up in certain areas and stuff like that, and obviously changes as the cars drive over it, which is really good. The AI though need a bit of sorting here. Like, that's from P2 to P3 and 4. That's far too much of a gap after.
Well done, Gary. Great win.
Like,
You deserved that today.
7 laps. It's like they're in a different postcode, so that's not really that's not really good in that sense. Just the gap of the AI there is far too much. But again, you know, this is stuff that let's skip the cooldown lap and yeah, let's jump into the replay. As far as I know, this is stuff that Breeza are constantly tweaking is the AI, so you know that should get fixed over time. But again, looking at this, I mean, the graphics and the wet weather conditions, the thunderstorm basically, yeah, it looks really cool. Visual treat. Even reflections off the car bodies and stuff like that looks brilliant. Yeah, let's see if I can look at little battles through the field. In fact, even with the AI, yeah, it looks to be pretty much a fun part. Oh, bit of contact. It looks to be a fun party in the middle, alright. But yeah, like I say, the gaps with some of the AI drivers here is a little bit off. Look at the standing water, actually, the spray. As the other cars kind of come to interact with it, you know, so that's really good. Again, I think some of these cars online against humans would be great fun. I did try driving the Caterham, the fast one, the 670 or I think it's called, or 620 or something like that. And even in the dry, that thing was just you know, a little bit silly in terms of, you know, you could not touch the throttle with any vigor at all without the thing sliding out, stepping out. Just an absolute bit of a disaster, to be perfectly honest. Now, you could argue the power to weight ratio, it's going to be a bit, let's say, lively at the back, but I found it a little bit maybe just on the too lively side. Now I'm conscious as well that that thing is on street tyres and whatever else, you know, so was it realistic? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've had, I still do, like I have, you know, fast cars with a lot of power and torque and stuff like that, you know, road cars, but they never behave like that. Now granted, they were, you know, they were a bit heavier and stuff like that, but I don't know, I just thought from driving it, my initial reaction was like, oh, this is more difficult to drive than like a Formula 1 car or something like that, you know, but whatever. Not everything is perfect, and again, it could be just, you know, it could actually be a sense that it is realistic, you know, a powerful car in a light chassis will pose a challenge on throttle. But like I say, I just felt how the back broke away, how easy it broke away with limited RPM and therefore limited torque and power. I just felt that was a bit of a mismatch. But like I say, back to these cars are really fun. Despite that it's in the wet, there's enough grip there to have fun with them. There's enough grip there to actually enjoy the drive. So you can actually spend the time racing, picking lines, worrying about your corner entries and exits and stuff like that, rather than just spending the whole time trying to keep the thing under control. So yeah, I really had fun with this one. Really nice car. I'd suggest anyone with AMS2 to start looking at, let's say, alternative weather conditions a bit more. If you do already, great, but I know most of us, and I'm probably guilty of it as well, that we don't like going into, you know, wet servers, wet races. I have to do one of those, you know, cup races. I did a bit of testing in one of these yesterday on this track in the dry. Very tail happy, very like too pointy on the nose, to the point where it was almost undrivable, but a bit of setup work got around that, and it's actually not bad at all to drive now. It's actually fun. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. I'll cut this one here, but yeah, certainly do some wet weather racing, and I'll jump in and do a fit Uno race. So keep an eye for that one going as well. You'd be surprised actually how fun those Unos actually are. Yeah, thanks for watching guys, and yeah, until the next one.